The Olympic Games, a global spectacle of human achievement, where athletes push their bodies to the absolute limit for a shot at glory. We see the triumphs, the tears of joy, the national pride. But behind the dazzling ceremonies and record-breaking performances, there's a much darker side that often stays hidden from the spotlight. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal the uncomfortable truths behind the world's greatest sporting event. First, let's talk about the money. Hosting the Olympics is seen as a huge honor, a chance for a city to shine on the world stage. But this honor comes with a staggering price tag. We're talking billions of dollars. The 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics reportedly cost over $51 billion, making it the most expensive games in history. The 2020 Tokyo Games, even with the pandemic delays, ran a bill of over $15 billion. Where does this money go? Massive stadiums, Olympic villages, infrastructure upgrades, many of which fall into disuse and disrepair just weeks after the closing ceremony. These so-called white elephants litter former host cities. A constant reminder of a two-week party that left a lifetime of debt for many host nations. The promised economic boom never materializes. Instead, they're often left with crippling financial burdens that can take decades to pay off, with taxpayers footing the bill. Public funds that could have gone to schools, hospitals, or social services are diverted to build facilities that serve no long-term purpose for the local community. The human cost is just as devastating. To make way for these grand Olympic projects, entire neighborhoods are often cleared out. Residents, many from low-income communities, are forcibly displaced from their homes. In the lead-up to the Rio 2016 Games, it's estimated that over 77,000 people were evicted. They're offered minimal compensation and forced to relocate far from their jobs, schools, and communities. This process, often called social cleansing, beautifies the city for international visitors at the expense of its most vulnerable citizens. Their homes are demolished to build parking lots or luxury hotels, and their lives are turned upside down, all for the sake of a sporting event. Then there's the immense pressure placed on the athletes themselves. From a very young age, these individuals dedicate their entire lives to their sport. They train 4 hours every day, sacrificing a normal childhood, friendships, and education. This single-minded focus can have severe psychological consequences. The pressure to win, not just for themselves but for their country, is immense. We celebrate their victories, but we rarely see the mental health struggles that happen behind the scenes. Anxiety, depression, and eating disorders are tragically common. We saw this with Simone Biles, one of the greatest gymnasts of all time, who bravely prioritized her mental well-being during the Tokyo Olympics. Her decision sparked a global conversation, but she is far from an isolated case. Many athletes suffer in silence, afraid that showing any sign of weakness will cost them their spot on the team or their chance at a medal. The system often treats them as medal-winning machines rather than human beings. And that brings us to the physical toll. Pushing the human body to its limits, day in and day out, has serious consequences. While we see the spectacular feats, we don't see the chronic pain, the career-ending injuries, and the long-term health problems that many athletes face after they retire. Many former Olympians live with debilitating conditions resulting from years of overexertion. Furthermore, the immense pressure to succeed can lead some down the dark path of performance-enhancing drugs. The history of the Olympics is riddled with doping scandals, from state-sponsored programs to individual athletes trying to gain an edge. This not only undermines the spirit of fair play but also poses serious health risks to the athletes themselves. The relentless pursuit of faster, higher, stronger can have devastating, life-altering consequences. Another dark secret is the environmental impact. Staging an event of this magnitude is a logistical and environmental nightmare. Think about the carbon footprint of flying in millions of athletes, officials, and spectators from around the world. The construction of massive new venues often involves deforestation and the destruction of natural habitats. The 2014 Sochi Games were criticized for the environmental damage caused by construction in a protected national park. While the International Olympic Committee, or IOC, has been pushing for more green and sustainable games, the reality often falls short. The sheer scale of the event makes a truly zero-impact Olympics practically impossible. The legacy of a 2-week competition can be a permanent scar on the local environment. Let's also not forget the politics and corruption that often swirl around the games. The bidding process to become a host city has been plagued by allegations of bribery and backroom deals. The IOC, a powerful and often opaque organization, has faced numerous corruption scandals over the years. Decisions seem to be made based on financial and political interests rather than what is best for the athletes or the host communities. The Olympics are also frequently used as a platform for sports washing, where countries with poor human rights records use the glamour of the games to distract from their domestic issues and project positive image to the world. The 1936 Berlin Games under the Nazi regime is a historical example, but this trend continues in modern times, raising serious ethical questions about who we allow to host this symbol of international unity. So what does this all mean? Does it mean we should stop watching the Olympics? Not necessarily. The incredible moments of sportsmanship, unity, and human resilience are real and inspiring. But it's crucial that we, as viewers and global citizens, look beyond the spectacle. We need to be aware of the hidden costs, the financial debt, the displaced families, the struggling athletes, and the environmental damage. We should demand more transparency and accountability from the IOC and host city organizers. We should advocate for a more sustainable and humane model for the Games, one that prioritizes long-term community benefits and athlete well-being over profits and prestige. The Olympic flame is a powerful symbol of hope and unity, but it's time we shed light on the shadows it casts. We need to remember that behind every medal and every record, there's a complex and often troubling story that deserves to be told. Thank you so much for watching. If this video gave you a new perspective on the Olympic Games, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the topics that matter. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next one.